Speaking of, we've got to talk about Mick Mars. This is an incredible opportunity for you. Wow. Let's see. So you're singing lead vocals on 2 tracks on the upcoming Mick Mars solo album called Another Side of Mars, or the other
side of Mars. Yeah.
Okay. The album drops in February. It's Mick's first solo album outside of Motley Crue. And you got a phone call. How did this happen?
Well, I owe that completely to my dear friend Paul Taylor. We have been friends for many years, and matter of fact, very good friends the whole time I've lived in Nashville, which has probably been about 16 or so, maybe 17 years now, something like that.
So real quick, we got to tell people that Paul Taylor is probably best known for his work in Winger, and he worked with Alice Cooper. And when we interviewed him, I was surprised to find out he got his start with Aldo Nova.
Aldo Nova.
Yeah. So Paul's been around for a long time, folks. You know his work, whether you know his name or not.
Isn't he also in Tom Kiefer's band?
Oh, my God. So Paul has played with everyone from Steve Perry to Tom Shaw to... Yeah, Cinderella first, and then Tom Kiefer solo.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
He's written things with Skid Row. Paul is he has done so many works, and his body of work is insane. Yeah. He is just an unbelievably talented guy, for talented. And he's the most down-to-earth guy. I make jokes about him. Because here's Paul, and I hope he doesn't get mad. I have an impression of Paul.
Does Paul get mad at anything?
Right, exactly.
Right? The guy's so good.
He's so relaxed. He has the coolest voice. Yeah. You call him on the phone and you talk to him, or when you see him, and if you interviewed him, he's like, "Hey, man, how you doing? Great to hear from you." And he's genuine, and he is the same with everybody. I don't care who you are. Yeah. You could be the prince of some foreign country, or the guy picking up his trash can. He's the same guy 24/7. So I owe Paul completely. We have done some things. He's had me come in and track on songs, publishing songs with him. We've written publishing songs. We've just done a lot of stuff. We played live together. He's been a doll and come and played. I've done some benefit concerts and some things, and he's always Johnny on the spot to come up, wants nothing, and just to help out a buddy. So yeah, he's the real deal. And so I'll hone in on this. So he's working on a song, right? Him and Mick, just to paint a picture. So Mick, Paul, and Jacob Bunton, right? Kind of, doing the main writing for this record, right? That's your main writers for the record. Mick, and I'll talk about that in a second. He has a million amazing ideas all the time. Like, he is so creative, it's ridiculous. But so Paul was working on this particular thing, and he's like, I want to do a couple of things, and I want to show Mick kind of like what I've done with, a couple of his ideas, and he's got ideas, and he's, very specific on this song. This song is very important, and everybody just wants to do a great job on it. Well, so he's like, you have done songs for me in the past where you have this angst. This word is going to come up a whole lot because I keep seeing it in print all the time, but this desperation, this angst, right? And, he says, I'm just going to demo it. I'm going to come and just demo it to see if I can put a bunch of angst, thinking that, another singer or somebody's going to take it from there. Right. But how cool is this? Bucket list, right? Mick is going to get to hear my voice potentially.
Yeah.
And I'm on cloud 9, right? And so we tracked it. He showed it to Mick, and apparently Mick's like, that's the other guy. So Mick said early on in the process, he loved like how the Beatles had different textures and different singers. You'd hear, there's a couple lead singers going on, and so it widened the musical, body of work because of that. And that's what he wanted to do. He had made several comments to that. and apparently he loved it, which I couldn't believe it. You know, when I got that call, that was just and to be with people like Jacob Bunton. I mean, you all know Jacob, like he's phenomenal singer, phenomenal writer. Like he's involved in a ton of stuff. Paul, obviously, Mick.
It's not a surprise that Paul and Jacob are buddies and these amazing like talents who walk the earth.
Oh my God. And then you bring in Ray Luzier, you know, I mean, from Korn, like a monster. In my opinion, probably one of the best living right now. Like if you have ever heard Ray do stuff outside of metal, he's phenomenal, like ridiculously good, super cool human. And then, you know, Michael obviously was involved, and then Chris Collier came on board. Like everybody involved in this thing is just number one, great humans, but then their talent is ridiculous. And here I am, you know, get thrust into this, thankfully to Paul and Mick and
well, obviously they respect you, and that's why it's important that we talk about this, because using your words, you're the other guy, you know what I mean? And actually those are mixed words, apparently. He's the other guy. We got the other guy now, you know.
The other guy.
So that's cool.
I'm cool being the other guy, man. I got no problems with that.
Man. Yeah,
right? I can be the another's guy, you know, like I could just be some guy.
The other guy.
That one guy down the street, around the corner, you know. That's cool. I love it.
So how did the second song come about? Did Mick like the first song that you sang so much that he basically ordered a second one, or did you already have one laying around and he said, "Hey, I want to hear more of what this guy's got"? How did track number 2?
I'll take the number 2 with the Coke as well. I don't. That was obviously, I wasn't privy to the conversation when that happened. I was just asked to track some other songs and just see how it gelled, how it worked. You know, this is, and I will say this is a Mick record, and Mick wanted to do this the way he heard it in his head. And there's been no mistake about that. He wasn't going to release until he felt like it was there. He wasn't going to put any song on it that he didn't feel strongly about. I mean, he has very clear vision of what he wants up here. And when it's not going that particular way, he's going to find it eventually.
Yeah.
And he lined himself up with the perfect people to just help, you know, kind of make that happen. And these other guys, because that's what they're great at.
On the two, I'm sorry to interrupt. I just want to move around a little bit instead of like, these 2 songs that you're on. I mean, I could ask this about the whole record, but let's stay focused. There were lyrics already. These are not your lyrics, or did they ask you to write lyrics? Okay.
No, these were not my lyrics. No, they had already written that.
Are they Mick's or Jacob's or?
Oh, I think, and you know, hopefully nobody gets upset at me. I'm pretty sure that it's a joint venture.
Oh, good. All right.
I know that Mick had certain things.
Paul maybe had some play in it too.
Oh, for sure. And you know, it's like any. I'm sure you know. You've been in rights, and it's somebody has this. I want to write about. I want to get this feeling across, and they pencil things out, and somebody else is like, hey, maybe if we say it like this, and we say it like, and it's a combination of things to get it across where you saw it going in here.
I like how you say that it's Mick's record, but this explanation of how it's this Mick's army, collaborating under Mick's, you know, brains.
Absolutely.
Kind of a thing. It sounds
they're
really
all
cool.
professionals. And they all know he wanted something very specific. And even when I was tracking, you know, Paul would reiterate to me, because I do a lot of vocals with Paul, and I don't know, he can bring things out in me that I don't think anyone can. I don't know what it is, just the relaxedness of being with him. But when we were in there, he's like, just want a lot of that angst and that desperation, you know, think about what the song's about. And like, we really just like thought it out. And interestingly enough, And I think I'm right about this. I could be wrong, and if so, they can correct me. But we tracked it, and a lot of times when you're engineering or you're producing, you want to track a feel, because you never know when a word, it may have sounded good in the headphones at the time, or in the control room, and then you kind of get it in the mix, and maybe oh man, we should have that word different, or just a little clearer, whatever the case. And I ran it a few times, not all on the same day, but the take that was the one that ended up on the record, if I'm not mistaken, is the first time I sang it, because I think it was explained to me so well by Paul. I knew, and he knew it was in Mick's mind 100%. And it just came out, and Mick said, leave it alone. We'll take that one.
Yeah.
So the second, that was probably behind closed doors conversation. I don't know if they said specifically we want Brion to sing on the second, or if it was this makes sense, or we think the voice is going to sound right on that. I don't know the exact, but I just know that they wanted me to sing some stuff. I was happy to do it, and lo and behold, I'm on another side of Mars.